we are back. It is Tape Don't Lie. It is your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything, right? We are back. You know what I'm saying? You guys already know what to do. Subscribe. If that is your first time here, right? Hit the like button. If you like it, hit the dislike button. If you dislike it, leave a comment. If you like it, leave a comment if you dislike it, right? And then also, make sure you guys check us out. If you like the audio, if that's iTunes and Spotify, subscribe on iTunes, download on Spotify, right? Make sure that is the Silver and Black Pride channel. And also check out our articles at silverandblackpride.com. And then make sure you follow me on Twitter at the Mark John NFL. And then you follow BD as well at BD Williams 18. All right. So this week, you already know, guys, we got the Chargers coming up. The Chargers are coming in. They're a pretty hot team. They're 2-1. They just had a big win over the Chiefs, and the Raiders are 3-0. And this is basically a battle for first place, kind of, unless the Broncos win on Sunday, but it's kind of a battle for first place, battle for, that kind of that slight division lead, right? That might come down to the end of the year. So this is a big game for the Raiders. And I mean, it's a big game for the Chargers too. So I think both these teams are going to take it very seriously. So it's going to be a slugfest, in my opinion. It's going to be a slugfest coming into this game. But, today, of course, I'm going to be previewing. We switched it up. Last week, we did the defense. I would do defense, the first 2 weeks, and then BD would do offense. We switched it up this week because, Brandon Staley is the big dog in the defensive gurus, and BD's a defensive guy. So we wanted to get a good, a good in-depth into that coverage, right? And, have BD do the defense, and I took the offense this week. So we kind of switched it up, a little bit there, and I'm going to cover the offense and, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and all the run game and everything. So we're going to be going over that. And what you going to be talking about, BD, on the defense?
Yeah, I'm just going to be talking about, I only watched one game. I watched the Kansas City game.
Okay.
Just kind of see, what the defense is all about. So I had some takeaways, just that we'll discuss a little later on. But,
okay.
Just want to kind of see how what the structure of the defense looks like. And I think it is sound, but there's a couple of weaknesses, and I think it's more about personnel than scheme for them. Their defense is a work in progress still. I think it has like the worst rushing defense so far through 3 games in the NFL. So hopefully this is the week that the Raiders run game comes back to action.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how Brandon Staley plays Derek Carr, because if he plays Derek Carr the way that they play the Chiefs, and they have to run the ball, and they might, because the Raiders have been a high passing volume offense this whole year, and that's what Brandon Staley, that's his thing. His thing is stopping deep passes and stopping teams from throwing deep, and making sure that you have to move down the field, right? You just can't get those explosive plays over the top of them. But I mean, I think you're right. I think their personnel is not the Rams. He doesn't have all those ballers that he had with the Rams. Cause when he was with the Rams, I mean, he had Aaron Donald over there, and he had Michael Brockers too, which was a factor. And both those guys could play the run, right? So since both those guys could play the run, he was able to, do more with that personnel, because they could actually play the run. Because I think they're the number 1 run defense last year. So it's not that he doesn't want to play the run, is that he just doesn't like to put a lot of players in the box to play the run. And now, he needs 4 players in the box. You know what I mean? Basically.
So I can talk about this now because it's not going to be part of my breakdown, but something that they do on defense, like you're saying, to avoid having a whole bunch of players in the box. And essentially what they want to do is they want to play too high coverage, like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So safety out of the box, right? But they want to be able to stop the run out of too high. And so one of the ways that they do that is they basically, in layman's terms, they want their defensive linemen to 2-gap, right? And they have an interesting way of teaching it. And, it's been like the way that Staley, is able to achieve this there's like a lot of discussions about it in coaching circles. But just getting back to it, I think like what you're saying, like when you have an Aaron Donald, you can do some tough things, tough techniques to pull off.
Yeah.
It just depends on the quality of the offensive line. The Raiders have a young offensive line, so it's possible that the Rams are able to execute this better against the Raiders, but we will see. It remains to be seen if they're going to be able to do it. You got to get this team out of too high to beat them. So
yeah,
Raiders got to run the ball regardless. If they're playing them the same way or not, they still have to get these guys out of what they want to do, which is play like cover 7, essentially like man match defenses over the top. And it's the hardest scheme to pass against when you're able to sit back there, stop the run out of too high, and then just see all the different coverage variations and checks and adjustments that they do. You can't let them play that game. It's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
So you got to make them play single high, get that safety in the box, and then some things in the pass will open up.
Yeah. Yeah. And, they're going to come out and try to stop the big play. And then, for the offense, I think this is a short passing offense. I mean, that's what they are. They're not going to take a lot of deep shots. And if they are going to take deep shots, it's calculated, right? And I think we all heard this before, right? And so, I mean, they're basically, to me, in my opinion, they're kind of like the 2019 Raiders, the way they move the football. That means they're going to be meticulous. They're going to have a lot of ball control, but they don't run the football. So they're like a ball control passing offense, right? And, they're big plays, which, I'll go over, they really don't come from, while in structure, right? I mean, in structure, they are short. They're going to hit the flats. Austin Eckler, they're going to throw slants. They might do some deep outs when they do play action. I mean, that's probably the only time they do deep shots. But Herbert's he's not going to force it into traffic at this point, the way he plays. So, I mean, if it's not there, he's going to look to check it down. So I think that they have to kind of do. I mean, I'm going to go over it a little bit and kind of show what the Cowboys did a little bit, but I watched the Cowboys and the Chiefs game, and the Chiefs they played Justin Herbert like they didn't respect him, right? Which I thought was interesting. They played him like they didn't respect him at all, and they got burned for it. That's basically they really played they played him like he was like I don't understand their game plan for him. It was weird, but the Cowboys had a good game plan for them, and I think the Cowboys kind of knew the tendencies of, what they like to do. And I think, maybe Gus Bradley might be able to duplicate their game plan for him. Right. And the Cowboys played a lot more too high than they usually do. We talked about that, Gus Bradley played more too high last year than he usually does. So, he might've been calling Dan Quinn, bro. So
yeah, I mean, Gus Bradley has called more cover 4 and some cover 5 looks over these last few games. Like week 1, it was all cover 3, right? Except for like 3 snaps, I think. And now since then, we've been steadily seeing more and more too high, and it was almost half the game plan in week 3 against the Dolphins was too high, right? So yeah, they're steadily getting there. They're building their coverage package up. And, if that's what is going to be needed to beat this team, I think that they're working that in.
Yeah.
But we'll say that. Do you want to just jump in and get started?
Let's jump into it.
All right, go ahead. You can.
All right, guys. So let's talk about the run game first, or the lack thereof. I mean, the Chargers really don't have a run game, and that's why I was talking about them being a ball control passing offense. All right. And this really is the reason why. So we'll see some of this run game. I mean, the Chiefs can't stop the run, guys. And the Chiefs kind of controlled them with the run game. See the counter, like nobody's really getting any push from this offensive line, right? These guys are they're better pass blockers than they are run blockers. You see outside zone, right? Watch 99 blow this up. He allows 53 hitches to go right through there. Tackle for loss, right? Then we got another counter. Watch this one. Right? Nothing. Blown up. Guy misses the block. Tackle. And then you see it gets here. I mean, the Cowboys don't play the run that great either. And the Cowboys shut them down with the run game. There's nothing they really could do in the run game. Watch another one. That young rookie from UCLA blowing it up. and then finishing up with the tackle, right? So it happened like this for most of the game. I mean, you'll see it one more time. You know, them trying to run the football with, Roundtree and Eckler. It just did not work out for them in these two games. You see all that push, boom, safeties making plays. Everybody's making plays when they try to run the football. So it just wasn't a good look for them trying to consistently run the football, right? And, another thing that they really didn't have, not that they didn't have, but they love the flats, okay? And they love throwing the flats. And the Chiefs decided that they didn't want to cover the flats. So let's just watch what the Raiders shouldn't do, okay? They should not play defense like this. Look at just leaving the flats open for this offense. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea what the Chiefs were doing. I don't know what the game plan. This one's the worst. Watch this one. This was just bad. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, what the hell is that? Like, the Raiders can't do that. They cannot leave these flats wide open. I mean, Herbert's going to take those every single time. He's a smart quarterback. He's going to see blitzes. You see that? He replaces the blitz right there. Leave the flat open. He's going to hit it. So you have to be, ready to go after the flat. So you watch the Cowboys, right? Get a little pressure. He checks it down. Boom, Cowboys right there. Boom. There's already two guys there. You see it? They're all over the flats. Okay. They were prepared for all this stuff. They're playing the short stuff. You'll see it here, right? More pressure, swings it, boom. There's three guys, 4, 3, 4, 5. That's what the Raiders have to do. They have to attack those flats, and they have to be ready for it too. So especially if they get pressure, because Herbert's gonna check that ball down if he gets pressured. And then we got the big dogs outside, man. We got Mike Williams and we got Keenan Allen. And Mike Williams is playing out of his mind this year. All right, he is probably. I mean, I know Keenan Allen is the most known receiver, but I think the most dominant guy right now on their team is Mike Williams, and my fantasy team thanks him. But he is balling. Okay, he is balling, and you'll see like his route running has improved too. Like, look at this route. Look at that. Nasty, right? And he did not used to run routes like that. So this dude is dangerous, especially in the red zone, guys. He is dangerous. And him and Herbert have a connection, okay? And I know he has a connection with Keenan Allen too, but I think him and Mike Williams, I mean, he's the younger guy in the red zone. They just throw back shoulder fades. Like, you can tell that they practice this stuff. Like, that is pitch perfect back shoulder fade. And it's hard to stop because he's such a big guy. And then they just get him on the screen outside, touchdown. So, I mean, the boys, they're in trouble if they're not ready to play some defense, because he's going to make some plays. And then you got the big boy Keenan Allen, who's just going to work you, right? I mean, Keenan Allen, he's probably the best route runner in the league, or top 5, whatever you want to call it. And I call him a Herbert eraser, because, I mean, if Herbert misses, bro, does he help him out? So Herbert's latent inside a little bit there, makes the catch, tough catch, lets the guy know he's too small, right? And then, on this one, another great route. You see him, nice shake, nice outside. Herbert's a little inside, erases it, two-hands it, high points the football. You can't stop him, right? But the big thing on this game is that the Raiders, they will put you to sleep with short stuff, but you cannot fall asleep, all right? Because if you fall asleep, Herbert's gonna roll out and he's gonna throw it down your throat. So like this play right here, right? Cowboys got this covered up perfectly. He gets out, but they lost Keenan Allen back there. Boom, on a line right there, outside, big play. Right, so this is how they get their big plays. You fall asleep and he gets out of the pocket, he's gonna murder you. So you see this one right here, right? Chiefs couldn't get any pressure on him, right? He's just making sandwiches back here, and then he rolls out. He sees somebody deep because somebody else fell asleep, and he got lucky that he dropped this one. But that was a dime too. And this is a perfect example. Watch Trayvon Diggs, right? Trayvon Diggs, he played the short stuff like crazy. So look at that. He almost broke on the football. It was a great throw by Herbert. You watch it one more time. Watch him break on this football. He's playing the short. He's barely back playing. Like look, he's trying to get him some picks, right? Because he knows they have short stuff. So watch this one though, okay? All right. So yeah, he's playing the short stuff and he falls asleep. He looks back because he doesn't think Herbert's gonna throw this far. But if you fall asleep, he will kill you. See, they cannot fall asleep. They cannot get into, all right, we're gonna stop the short stuff, right? But what the Raiders really have to do is, when he gives you a chance to pick the ball off, you got to pick it off. You have to pick it off. And that's what the Cowboys did. If he gives you a chance to pick it off, You have to, because sometimes he is late with the football. He's a young quarterback. He's not anticipating like, a veteran would all the time. So sometimes he's late with the football. Like this one, he's really late. You see that right there? And Trayvon Diggs made him pay. But this is another one. They end up dropping this one. But look, he comes backside. He's late, right? He's late. But they missed that one, right? So when he is late with the football on the back end, you have to pick off those passes. So I mean, this team, I mean, they are not to be slept on. Okay, I'm not gonna say you should sleep on this offense. I mean, they're gonna be able to move the football on the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders just have to stay steady. They have to, make plays. I think if they get some pressure on Herbert, that's when you kind of get him off his game a little bit, because once you get pressure on him, he's going to start striking it down. It's just a nature with him. So if you get more pressure on him, it's what's going to happen. I mean, to be honest, the only team that has got pressure on him this year is the Cowboys. And that was his worst game. I mean, I think the other two teams combined had 14 pressures according to PFF, and the Cowboys had 17 on him, right? And they were able to get him off his game a little bit, because I'm telling you, if you can get pressure on him, he'll start checking it down, and he'll start feeling the pressure a little too early. And that's really what he's kind of like. But I mean, if you make him comfortable and then you let him get outside the pocket, he's gonna find people downfield. You have to sack him. If you're not sacking him, you're going to be in trouble, because he's going to get out of the pocket, and his eyes go up when he's outside the pocket. They go up. They don't go down. When he gets out of the pocket, they go straight up. He's looking for something he's looking for a big play when he gets out. Inside the pocket, he's not really looking for a big play. He's kind of in structure, but you let him out. Yeah, dude, you that arm, he can throw it as far as he can on a line. And you cannot fall asleep. And that's what Trayvon Diggs did. Trayvon Diggs, like, he's like, dude, throw short all the time. You ain't gonna throw it. Dude. Oh, oops. Yeah. That can't happen. You don't want that to happen. What happened to him, where he's thinking that this dude's too deep for me. Like, even the play that they threw a pick, he almost threw a pick. Trayvon Diggs, he was jumping. He jumped something, and Herbert didn't see it after he jumped it, but he jumped an outright, and Mike Williams went right past him because it was a double move. So they can't get greedy like that. They got to just kind of stay the course and keep everything in front of them and tackle. I think that's what they got to do, because even on third down, if it's third down and they play well in the back end, he's going to throw it short of the sticks, and they can't miss it. They can't like miss a tackle or let somebody like run for a first down. They got to come up and they got to make a tackle if he throws it short of the sticks, because he will. He's going to do it like 3 times in this game. He's going to throw short of the sticks on like could be 3rd and 9. He's going to throw the ball to Austin Eckler. And if you don't tackle Austin Eckler and they get a first down, you're going to be upset. So I think you have to play to his tendencies a little bit too. And, he's going to play quarterback. And I know a lot of people, when other people play quarterback like he does, they call it boring. When he plays quarterback like he should play quarterback, people think it's exciting. That's my only thing that I have against him, is like, why can he play quarterback like you're supposed to, but like if somebody else did and like 3 check downs and stayed on schedule, you kill them for it. That's the only thing that I have a problem with, because he plays quarterback like you should, and he's not stupid either. That's why I hated the Chiefs game plan, because they really treated him like he was stupid. Like, you cannot cover 0 blitz him. Like he's gonna replace it. He's a smart. He's gonna see it. He's gonna change the protection, and then he's gonna hit you behind you. So you have to be timely with your blitzes. You have to try to confuse him, show him different coverages. He's not just like some guy you just show up and just throw everything at him like he's Andy Dalton. The Chiefs game plan was just disrespectful. It's basically like they did with the Raiders. Like, it's just disrespectful game plan. Like, bro, how you gonna leave a flat wide open for Justin Herbert? He's gonna wait, there it is.
So a couple things that you were talking about.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, what Gus Bradley really wants to do is he wants to stay on top of everything, and he is gonna allow the flats to be thrown, but generally, you're gonna see, I think, better pursuit, coming back downhill out of coverage.
Yeah,
you're gonna see them relate to the guy who's in the flat so that they can, make a break on that a little better than what we were seeing the Chiefs do.
Yeah,
so I think that schematically, I think that the defense is up for it. The scariest thing, honestly, that you were showing is Mike Williams. Like we haven't seen a receiver like that this year.
No.
Oh my goodness. So that was pretty filthy. I mean, the step up in his route running capability, that makes it scary because he's always been a tough cover because he's just such a beast of a guy.
Yeah.
Trayvon Mullen has had his number each time that they've played, but we'll see, what that's looking like. I think Casey Hayward might have something in his back pocket for Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, because he's played against him so much.
Yeah.
But those guys are dominant at the catch point too. So they're gonna get catches. They're gonna get catches. They're gonna get first downs.
Yeah.
Even when these guys are draped all over them, they're gonna make some catches. It just can't, be backbreakers. That's gonna be the key is gonna be limiting it.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. I think it's a good test for this defense, and especially the scheme, because we got to see if they do need to play too high, how far along they've come, because this can be a good passing offense. It's not like Miami where they're just like putting Devon Diablo in as dime linebacker and all this stuff because they know Jacoby Brissett sucks. Like, no offense to Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
He can scramble like crazy, but he's not going to shred you. So it's like, okay, we're going to install some of our, other concepts, some of our other personnel packages, because we're not worried that this quarterback is going to shred us. Now you start experimenting a little bit on defense. Justin Herbert can make you pay. This offense, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, like these guys can make you pay. So this is going to be a better test for the Raiders defense for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't sleep on these guys. Like I mean, this is it. They are a good offense. They're a good offense. I don't know if they're on the verge of a great offense because they're just not explosive enough for me. But they're a good offense. So you can't just like sleep on them. But I think the key to this game is they got to get pressure on Herbert. If they can get pressure on him, right, and then force him to get into check down mode, I think they can do some things. They can make some plays. And also, if the thing is, he's going to give him a couple. He always does. He's going to give you a couple. And
right.
When he does, you got to take it. When he does, you got to take it.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that there's going to be some errant passes here and there from him.
Yeah,
he had some really, really ugly picks last year when I was watching some of the games. But yeah, Raiders got to capitalize. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they got to get some turnovers for sure.
All right, so let's how about we transition?
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Brandon Staley defense, right? Chargers defense. So here, let me just share my screen. And like I said before, I watched the Chargers game against the Chiefs, and something I noticed was that this is a very opportunistic defense. You see,
I didn't know the pass bizarre bothers me. Sorry, Doc.
Incredible reaction to lay out for that interception there. Here's another one, just a really bad pass, but they're gonna make you pay, right?
Yeah.
Ill-advised pass from Patrick Mahomes, and then even here, like, ball comes up in the air, these guys are gonna be everywhere. They're trying to scoop and score every time the ball is anywhere around the ground, on the ground, in the vicinity of anyone. They're gonna get out there on it. And that's another example too. So they had a bunch of turnovers in this game. I don't know if any of these got called back or something like that, but this is an opportunistic defense that can make you pay. Now, this is, I think, a good example. Some of the structure of the defense here. Like, they're gonna give up the short stuff, okay, underneath, and they're gonna come and rally and make a tackle. Okay, I think some of the philosophy is similar to the Gus Bradley defense. They want to stay on top of everything, okay? And as a result, they're going to give up some short throws, and they're going to try to rally to the sticks, okay? And meet the ball carrier in the flat. It's a big part of this defense. They're going to allow a lot of short game stuff, but they're going to try to stay in too high so as to not get beat over the top, okay? Now, something here, the pass rush can get to him, You know, if the pass rush starts heating up, you know, it could be tough for Derek Carr, especially throwing against too high, you know, but the opportunities are going to be there, especially for Darren Waller. I don't think they have a guy who can cover him because they play so much man coverage. Now, this is something that I thought was interesting. You know, they always have an inside linebacker cover a back out to the flat. It's a long run, and I expect to see some pick plays, okay, some out and ups, and then another way is to, you know, just get these guys influence on the play action because they play so much man. Staley's famous for having his guys play man and keep the quarterback at the same time, get him into a run and pass conflict, get some play action in this game. It's going to affect these guys. Now, one way to really beat this team is just to run the ball, period, at them, okay? Chiefs are not a great run team, okay? And they were able to move the ball on them when they were running and when they were keeping it on the ground, okay? I think that this team lacks some physicality up front. With that drive from the guards, just, oh my gosh, they're moving the defensive tackles into the linebackers' laps. Okay, so this is a team that is their weakness right now is stopping the run, and the Raiders, like, this is the week to get your run game going here, get some confidence, and you know, because I just don't think that these guys pursue to the football very well. And then the last thing I'll talk about is just getting some of these you know, one-on-one matchups to Darren Waller. You're going to see them have a hard time covering tight ends, okay? And I just don't think that there's a guy in man coverage who can completely take out Darren Waller. If it's anyone, it's going to be Derwin James, okay? But then that means that there should be some wide open guys in other parts of the field. So, you know, my biggest takeaway is this is not well, first of all, my biggest takeaway, really my number one takeaway is when I was watching the Chiefs game and I'm just seeing all these like crazy plays, like highlight reel interceptions and stuff like that. Just like, okay, that's not replicable. Like, they're not going to get 4 turnovers against the Raiders. Like, some of these things are just like things that A, Derek Carr would never do. And B, like, you do ask someone to make that play 10 times and see if they make it, you know, like, right? So I just don't think that some of the things that we see from the box score, some of the stats from that game, that's not like indicative of, I think, of like the Chargers figuring out the Chiefs or anything like that. Chiefs like just straight up had a really bad game. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw those interceptions, they probably win that game, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he doesn't throw stupid no-look pass to a guy who's not expecting the ball. Yeah.
Right.
God, that was the dumbest thing ever. That play, every time I watch it play by me, bro. I'm sorry. Like,
so like they really screwed the pooch there on that. So that's my biggest takeaway. Obviously, you got to run the ball, get one-on-one matchups with Darren Waller, but I think that there's some personnel issues that they have in their scheme where they're asking some certain players to do a lot, and we got to see if all these guys that are there are capable of doing that, you know, in their back seven. And I'm sure the Raiders are going to find 1 or 2 weaknesses. You know, this isn't the Rams personnel, this is the Chargers personnel, and they got both. So they got Derwin James. You know, after that, though, we got to find out who else is going to be able to play up to that level. Yeah. Because I think that, you know, if it's Brian Edwards, if it's Hunter Renfrow, if it's Henry Ruggs, some of these guys is going to be open all game. Yeah. I just don't think that they have 5 coverage options in man coverage that is like across the board is going to be able to match up with the Raiders. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how what they try to do, you know, because the Chiefs game plan, I mean, everybody talks about, you know, they played a lot of man in that game, and that's different from what they usually do. So we'll see what their plan is and what they attempt to do, you know, for this game, because, you know, the Raiders are, you know, right now, the Raiders are a high-powered passing offense. I mean, they move the ball through the air, they throw a lot of yards. They are a high-powered passing offense at this point. And, you know, do the Raiders stay kind of stubborn like they are a little bit? You know, they're stubbornly kind of throwing the ball deep. You know,
So, it's like the 8 times a game thing. I thought that was crazy. Like that's a lot, man. And
It's a lot.
it is.
It's a
And
lot.
I think that, because last game he threw 10 balls, 20 yards down the field. So those are a lot of throws on the field. Some of them were forced. So, they can't be forcing passes this game. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Is like, I think they got to get back to, the game, the game that, that helps them kind of move the ball against like better defenses. And I think against the Steelers, I mean, we didn't see, as many like, forced deep shots. I mean, Derek Carr only threw 4 against the Steelers, but he completed all 4 of them. Right. And, they were more calculated against the Steelers. So maybe against these man-to-man teams, maybe they feel like they could just gun it deep on them because they play man-to-man.
Right.
Because I mean, in the 2 games against the main man-to-man teams they played, the Raiders had 18 deep passes, right? So those 2 games, and then you add in the Steelers, it's only 4. So if they feel like maybe they can, maybe choice route these guys to death, especially with the flats open and stuff like that, and putting them in positions where, there's a lot of bunch formations and things like that, and kind of just,
Look, it's going to be a big game from Kenyon Drake. Like, he's got to get back in the fold as a receiving option. We got to see if Kenneth Murray is able to, basically the assignments that they're giving Kenneth Murray, like he's an elite linebacker, like he's Deion Jones, like he has long runs in coverage.
Okay.
Usually you protect your middle linebacker a little bit more than that. You don't ask him to go run all the way to the flat or just like carry a running back out of the backfield on what could be a wheel route or something like that. You try to limit that from your middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're asking him to do a lot. Kenyon Drake got to take advantage, got to eat those. And we're going to find out if Kenneth Murray is really like that dude, or if he's just like good and, they need to dial it back a little bit for him. But yeah, I just think that Pittsburgh has a better secondary. There's a lot of talent in the Chargers secondary right now, but Asante Samuel, he's a rookie, Derwin James, we're going to see if he continues to stay healthy. Obviously, he's a beast.
Yeah.
But after
he's
that,
banged up. He's banged up too.
He's already banged up. Okay. And then Mike Davis, like he played better last year than he's playing this year. I think that he's going to be a lot this year. Mike Davis, the other corner, I think he's like number 43 or something like that.
Yep.
So, it's not as good of a secondary, I don't think, as Pittsburgh was. If they do play more man, if they do play more zone than they did against Kansas City, then yeah, like don't take a bunch of deep shots. But yeah, like if it's man, I don't know if they got a guy who can run with Henry Ruggs. So they got to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to play man. I think they're going to play their usual zone defense. I think they're going to go back to that. I think they thought they could out physical the Chiefs. They could, because the Chiefs are a finesse team. I mean, Travis Kelce is not like a physical guy. If you punch him in the mouth a bunch of times, I mean, he's not going to be, he's not going to fight back a lot. He's kind of more of a
yeah. That's true. And so one thing I will say is, Brandon Staley he has man principles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's one of those coaches in the NFL where he coaches, even though they're playing man, he's coaching his second level defenders to read the quarterback in the backfield action while they're playing man. Right. So I think to a lot of people, it looks like zone. Right.
Yeah.
But once pass is confirmed, everyone's turning and finding a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a true zone. Like they're not dropping to like an area of the field or something like that. They're going to buy a man at some point. But I think there's a lot of reading the quarterback that's involved in it. So people might think that it's man. But most of this defense, Brandon Staley, going back to last year, is it's a man principled defense. So if that's straight man or if that's man match, right? We're going to see. But yeah, like if they're doing man match, that means that they're going to be too high safeties. It can be a lot of coverage adjustments. We don't want to see that. We want to see single high man, from them, or if they're just going to play straight up cover 3, because they do that sometimes too.
Yeah. It's going to be it's not going to be an easy game, man. This game's going to be, if the Raiders pull this out, it's definitely going to be close. It'll be a close game, but
yeah.
I think if this game is close, at the end, I think the way Derek Carr is playing, I think if it's close at the end of the game, I think Derek Carr will at least, try to take this game to overtime, and
Yeah.
it
We can't have any more overtimes. Okay,
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, if this game's close and the Raiders have the ball last, I think they could best. I mean, I think that's how they're going to pull it out. I mean, they're going to pull it out in epic Monday Night Football fashion. It's not going to be like that a 10-point win or something like that. I think they're going to have to,
here's my thing. You already said it. The offense isn't super explosive. The defense can be run on. I don't think that this team is as big of a giant as it's being painted out to be.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
And again, they lost to Kansas City because Kansas City, not because of them, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the other thing is too, this is a young team. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I'm standing by it. This is a young team. It's got a brand new head coach. They just beat Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that's going to be like their high point this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, managing the roller coaster of emotions that come after a win like that, that's going to be tough for like a brand new coaching staff and, like all these new faces and young players and things like that in the locker room. They're going to have a come down, right? They're not going to be as dialed into this one as they were from the last one.
Mm.
And if they are, Raiders are in trouble for as long as Brandon Staley's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I'm playing the field right now. He's going to have like a similar issue that happens to almost every single new head coach. When you have a big win like that, coming back with the same intensity the next week, that's tough. It's just like a human response.
Yeah.
And you saw the Raiders have big wins, right? And then they played a lesser opponent in the following week and still lost. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So that's my thing about it. I think they're due for a letdown, and hopefully we do see that happen on Monday night.
Yeah, and I back to the offense for the Chargers. I think the way the Raiders play defense, it does fit. And just for them struggling against the Cowboys kind of shows that if you play a certain type of defense, that it's harder for them to move the football consistently like they want to. And I know that game they had a couple like penalties taken back, but that's what happens when you get pressure, man. You get pressure, people hold and things like that. So if you can constantly get pressure on Herbert, I think that they have a chance to control this offense, but they got to get pressure on him, because if they don't, man, he's gonna pick you apart.
I think they're gonna get pressure. I'm pretty confident they've been a solid amount of pressure every week.
I think so too. Yeah, Sean Slater's a rookie still.
He's still a rookie. For me, it's going to be about what happens when Herbert scrambles and starts breaking the pocket, because so far we have not seen the Raiders do well against that.
Yeah. So,
Herbert has scrambled. He's been a scrambler in the past. He's had great numbers out of the pocket in the past, but hopefully the Raiders have a plan for him. I know you're saying he can get inaccurate once he gets out of the pocket so far from what you're watching this year, but I'm still a little worried because Jacoby Brissett, that's the only way that they were able to move the ball. Lamar Jackson too, that's what sustained those drives. And then the first week, it was the quarterback scramble. It wasn't anything else so far that has really stressed the Raiders defense. It's just the quarterback scramble.
Yeah.
And I think that Herbert can do that. I don't know if he's doing it as much this year, but he can do that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's scrambling really right now. I just think when he sees something downfield, he tries to get out and tries to gun it as far as he can. And I think that's what I was talking about. The Raiders cannot get into coverage where okay, yeah, we won, right? We won the coverage. And then, he gets out of the pocket. And then next thing you know, you got Guyton or whatever their backups are just sitting behind you, right? In the back of the end zone, and, Justin Herbert throws 60 yards. You're like, oh my God, and it's touchdown. He's all over Twitter, So they have to avoid that. That's the big thing, because that's where all his big plays come from. He's not really making big throws in the pocket. The one to Mike Williams is probably his deepest throw that I saw that was actually from the pocket. That when he stepped back and he threw it in rhythm, and that was a 20-yard pass. So, they're not throwing downfield really. The way the offense is designed is not designed that way for them to throw downfield, and they don't have a lot of explosive players to push downfield naturally, right?
In rhythm.
So yeah, you just can't let him outside the pocket and you can't fall asleep in the back end, because if he gets out and you're fall asleep and somebody's behind you, he's going to hit that guy. It's just what it is. What
Right.
it is.
Right.
Mhm.
I think that's gonna be it. Honestly, I think we talked about it enough.
Yeah, me too.
You know, we just gotta find out how this shakes out. I'm excited for Monday night, obviously. You know, so we're gonna be keeping our eyes on that. Raider Nation, we appreciate you guys for keeping your eyes on us. You guys are the best fan base audience in all of YouTube history. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow Marcus on Twitter at the Mark John NFL. You follow myself on Twitter at BD Williams 18. Make sure you hit subscribe when you are watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this in podcast format. Make sure you hit the download button on whatever streaming service you use to stream podcasts. All right, that's it, Raider Nation. We appreciate you guys.
Peace.